All right, guys, check that out. That does not look like a rifle, does it? It's bow season in Pennsylvania, and I needed to shoot this thing before I go hunting. It's been actually probably about 2 weeks since I've really shot much because we went out west and did some hunting. So I'm gonna shoot the same mule deer target that we shot in the one-shot challenge. I have a 4x4 target out here, and I just rigged that plastic target over the top of that. So we have a life-size mule deer out here. We're gonna start at 61 yards. 61.6 is exactly what that ranged. And we're gonna back up about 10 yards. And we're gonna see how far back we can get before we actually miss them or don't kill them. All right, 61 yards. Hopefully my bow's still on. All right, felt really good. Let's go see where we're at. All right, we're out at the target. Right here. That's where we hit. If anything, we're shooting right just a little bit because I felt like I broke about here. All right, let's back it up. Let's go about 10 more. Yeah, that's the same target we've been shooting at the one-shot challenge. You can see some of the marker points here with the bullet holes, but we've shot this thing a bunch with arrows since then. All right, let's back it up. All right, 10 yards further, 71. Give that thing a couple clicks. Move that arrow left just a little bit. All right. It felt every bit as good as that other shot. All right. We have almost a dead center hit here at 71. And now we go on back. All right, we are back. We are on the driveway at 81.8. Here we go. Leave me a comment below and let me know how far you think I'm gonna make it before this arrow leaves the vitals. All right, felt pretty good. If anything, I would say I broke towards the back of the vitals. I shoot this bow exactly the same as I always preach to everybody about their rifle triggers. I just add tension to this trigger until it breaks. Just trying to hold as steady as possible. And I've done that for probably 5 years, and I feel like I can call the shot pretty close just because I feel like my brain captures that last second right where the pin was when it broke. I said if anything I was back just a little bit, and it's really good. That's pretty much exactly where I broke, and that's about where I felt like I broke. All right, let's go see if we can make it through the 90-yard target without leaving those vitals. All right, 91.1. This is starting to stretch it out a little bit. All right. Felt pretty good. I think I was pretty centered up when that broke. But we are about to find out. So I'm shooting the little Wise Guy spot hog release, and I literally just started shooting this thing. I actually prefer to shoot a button release. I've shot that for years, but 2 times in the past 4 years probably, and 1 time this year, especially when it gets cold and you start having a lot of collars and stuff, and bundling up a little bit, I have accidentally, and luckily both times I was on does, that I've been at full draw and for whatever reason needed to let down, and I go to let down and that button catches my collar, and I shoot him pretty hot, catches my collar and fired 2 times. So for 3D I still shoot those just for fun, but for hunting I now shoot this. It's a little more safe. All right, there we go. 91 yards right here, front of the lungs, pretty much mid-body. All right, let's go back to 100 yards, or a little over 100. I actually have to drop to my, I'm able to dial this with the pin setup that I have. I'm able to dial this, but I have 3 pins. And now at 100 yards, I have to actually use my lower pin and shoot off of that. So I do have a marker for it. The sight that I'm shooting is a UV slider sight, and it gives me a couple different markers for each pin on the mover. So we will find out if that is still on. All right, let's get us a range. "101 yards. All right, that felt good. We're about to find out if that pin's still on. All right, 101 yards. We're just high, but according to our chart here, we still hit towards the top of the lung. We still have about 1 inch of lung line over the top, dead center, left and right. I think I'm shooting just a little bit high. I am going to validate that. I felt like I broke really well on it. I'm going to validate that and keep backing up. All right, we are at 109.2 right there. All right, so the way that this sight works, and the reason I only drew part way back there is I've seen that I don't think my fletchings are going to clear this housing right here. So I have this one set up that I have 3 pins in here. I don't know if you can see that. And this indicates the top pin, middle pin, bottom pin. So I can use any of these as a mover. So the further I get, back to the top pin takes me to about 95. Then I got to drop down to the green pin, then drop down to that bottom green pin, and that gets me out to about 100. Now after 100, I have to drop down to that very lowest pin down here at the bottom and use this backside mover. It's kind of hard to tell, but this little sight's pretty sweet. Kind of allows you to shoot a little bit further. All right, 109.5. So we're gonna see if that backside pin is still on. That's a long hang time right there. Let's go see where we're at. I actually think that is about as far as I can dial. So anything now, I believe, is going to be Kentucky windage. I think I can dial out to about 111, I believe, and we were at 109.2. So we're going to run out of elevation. All right, let's see where we're at. Okay. We still hung lungs according to that. It's a little bit high. I cut 1 yard after that last shot and still felt like I broke that really good. So I am definitely hitting a little bit high. I have to make that adjustment. But I guess let's back up to see where we have max clearance. Might get a couple more yards out of it, but then I'll back up and hold over, I guess. And we'll just see where we lose it. All right, we are at 115. All right, let's see if we got clearance. I think we do. We're gonna find out. All right, I don't know if you can see that tree right in there, but we just nicked a branch. I didn't think it was gonna arch that much, but it did. Let's see if we stayed in there. All right, even though we hit those leaves, we still managed to punch it in there somehow. Still living a little high. I cut 2 yards on that, and off that backside tape, so I think I need to cut about 3 yards on that tape on that very, very lowest pin. All right, let's back that thing. That's as dialed as absolute much as I can. I was risking hitting the vanes on the housing there, so let's back up another 5 yards and hold some Kentucky windage, and if we miss, we miss. If we hit, and we'll probably call that a wrap. So let's see if we can get one more shot in the vitals. Even 120. I'm gonna see how much clearance I got, see if I can dial more than 115. No, I probably shouldn't even quite dial that. I'm gonna dial 114. All right, I'm gonna dial 114. I'm almost standing on the road here. 114, and I'm gonna hold what I think is 6 yards. And the way that I'm gonna do that is at full draw, I'm gonna see how much, if I put my 30-yard pin on him, I'm gonna see how much high my 20-yard pin is, and that's probably close to the gap that I need, because that's a 10-yard gap at 20 and 30. I need a 6-yard gap from 114 to 120. I'm just guessing it's about the same. All right, we hit the target, but I have no idea where. On that shot, 6 yards, I estimated that I need to hold about the top of the actual target itself, which that would be holding over probably, I'm not sure, 18 inches for 6 yards. That's the first Kentucky windage shot I've taken in a very long time, but I told you we want to see where this falls apart, and we shall see if we somehow manage to keep it in there at 120. Kind of guessed it. Really would have just been guessing it right. Oh, we didn't drop quite as much as I expected to. We spined him. All right. Spine shot at 120 yards. I held about here with my 114, so we dropped probably 10 inches. I thought we were going to drop a little bit more. So anyway, just something different, guys. I do shoot more than just guns. Actually have shot my bow for fun a lot more than rifles. The rifle gig has kind of turned into a business, which tends to turn into work. I started it for fun, and don't get me wrong, it's still fun. I enjoy it, but anything that you enjoy can still turn into work if you do it a lot. So I do shoot my bow for fun a lot, and it doesn't really cost me anything to shoot my bow unless I'm losing arrows. So anyway, there you have it. Appreciate you guys. See you next time.